Welcome to Inside Taiwan. My name is Fiona. This is the AI-powered podcast that takes you behind the headlines into the heart of the supply chain at the center of global attention. Every day, we sift through 30 trusted sources, from Taiwan's business dailies to the world's top financial and tech outlets, using AI to surface the stories that matter most, distilled for global investors and decision makers. Follow Inside Taiwan for insights delivered with speed and context. What fascinating signals we are seeing from Taiwan. On one hand, the official government forecast for next year's economic growth just shot up to a blistering 7.37%, the fastest pace in over a decade, all thanks to the AI hardware boom. But on the other hand, the latest manufacturing index shows a slowdown, and the stock market just took a breather, with investors cashing in some of their AI-fueled gains. So what's the real story? Are we looking at a rocket ship that's just getting started? Or are there some caution lights starting to flash on the dashboard? Today, we're going to untangle this fast and slow picture, from high-stakes trade talks with the US to a deep dive into one of Taiwan's most important companies, MediaTek, as it attempts one of the riskiest pivots in its history. Let's get into it. First up, that headline number that has everyone talking. Taiwan's Statistics Office just dramatically raised its 2025 GDP forecast from 4.45% to a stunning 7.37%. To put that in perspective, that's a growth rate most developed economies can only dream of. Why the sudden optimism? In 2 words: AI servers. As one analyst from Taishin Investment Advisory put it, the intense competition among US cloud giants is driving a massive wave of orders directly to Taiwanese manufacturers. The island's role as the indispensable hardware hub for the AI revolution is translating directly into economic firepower. But here's the twist. The same week we get this stellar forecast, the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research reports that the manufacturing sector is cooling down. In October, its composite index slipped into the yellow-blue zone. Think of it like a traffic light turning from green to yellow. It's a signal for caution, not a full stop. Manufacturers are scaling back on raw material purchases and are more hesitant about new orders, reflecting those global headwinds we've been talking about, like high interest rates and geopolitical uncertainty. And it seems investors are paying attention to both sides of this story. On Monday, Taiwan's stock market, the TAIEX, fell by over 1%. AI bellwether TSMC dropped around 2.1%. Analysts suggest that after a massive run-up, some institutional investors are simply taking profits, believing the AI stock rally may have gotten a little ahead of near-term earnings. It's less of a reversal and more of a reality check. So you have this fascinating tension. A long-term AI-driven boom on the horizon, but short-term caution in the physical manufacturing supply chain and the financial markets. It shows that even with AI, the path forward is never a straight line. A big part of that path forward depends on global trade, which brings us to some critical negotiations underway between Taipei and Washington. Both Reuters and Focus Taiwan are reporting that negotiators are in the final stages of a deal to address the U.S. Section 232 tariffs on steel and aluminum. Now, the core issue here is something called tariff stacking. Imagine you're an exporter and your products are hit with one tariff, and then another is piled on top. It's like paying sales tax on top of another sales tax. It adds up fast and can make your products uncompetitive. Taiwan is working to ensure that doesn't happen and is even pushing for a lower rate, potentially 15%, similar to the deal Japan secured. And to clear up some chatter, officials have been very clear. This deal isn't about Taiwan training US workers. Instead, it seems to be about building a pragmatic partnership. With TSMC investing $40 billion in new fabs in Arizona, a favorable trade environment is in everyone's interest. The deal, expected by year-end, would be a strong signal of how Washington works with key allies in building resilient supply chains. Speaking of global supply chains, the race to build the components that power AI is heating up like never before. Specifically, we're talking about high-bandwidth memory, or HBM. Think of HBM as these super-fast, multi-story parking garages for data, built right next to the AI processor. The more data you can park and retrieve at lightning speed, the faster your AI model runs. And right now, everyone wants more. We just got news that Micron is investing a massive $9.6 billion to build a new HBM plant in Hiroshima, Japan, backed by nearly $500 billion in subsidies from the Japanese government. Tokyo is clearly all in on rebuilding its semiconductor industry, also backing TSMC's fabs in Kumamoto. This move by Micron is a direct challenge to the two giants of HBM, SK hynix and Samsung. And that rivalry is getting fierce. According to DigiTimes, just a week after Nvidia sealed a 2026 supply deal with SK hynix, it turned around and opened negotiations with Samsung for HBM4 chips. Nvidia needs more suppliers to meet the voracious demand. Samsung is now racing to get its HBM4 chips qualified, aiming for shipments as early as the second quarter of 2026. If they succeed, they could significantly close the gap with SK hynix. This isn't just about market share, it's a high-stakes engineering battle over speed, efficiency, and manufacturing yield. All of this frantic activity from chip makers and governments is being pulled by one thing: explosive demand from the software and enterprise side. This week, OpenAI announced a major partnership with Accenture to help large companies deploy AI faster. And in South Korea, a new survey shows nearly 87% of major corporations are already using AI in their HR departments. This is why the hardware race matters so much. The adoption of AI is becoming universal, and it's fueling an unprecedented demand for the underlying silicon. That demand has created a once-in-a-generation opportunity. And while everyone talks about Nvidia, another Taiwanese giant is making a huge, risky bet to join the top tier of AI chip designers: MediaTek. Now, if you only vaguely know MediaTek, you might think of them as just another chip company. But they are the undisputed king of smartphone chips by volume, with a larger market share than even Qualcomm or Apple. Their rise is a business school case study. As detailed in a piece by Business Weekly, MediaTek perfected a strategy known as the fast follower. They wouldn't invent the breakthrough product, but they would master it, optimize it, and offer a powerful, affordable version just as the market was taking off. It's like they didn't write the hit song, but they released the best, most accessible cover version and captured the airwaves. This is how they came to dominate the smartphone market. But here's the problem: that winning formula doesn't work for the new frontier of AI. Cloud giants like Google and Meta aren't looking for an off-the-shelf chip. They want a custom-designed, one-of-a-kind chip built exclusively for their data centers. You can't be a fast follower when there's nothing to follow. You have to invent it from scratch. This is a 0-to-1 game, and it's forcing a radical reinvention inside MediaTek. The company has reportedly expanded its AI chip division from a few hundred people to several thousand in just 5 years, poaching top talent from US competitors like Intel. The culture shift is being driven from the very top. Company chairman Tsai-Ming Chie, now 75, is said to be reading academic papers from journals like Nature faster than some professors. Employees returning from technical conferences have to file reports the same night on what they learned and how it could be applied. One expert used a perfect analogy. It's like a world-class basketball player being asked to suddenly play professional volleyball. They have the athletic foundation, but the rules, the ball, the entire game is different. MediaTek is now having to master technologies they never touched before, like advanced packaging and silicon photonics. They're collaborating with packaging firms like ASE in ways that would have been unthinkable 5 years ago, trying to build that chip that doesn't exist yet. The market is watching closely. Their main competitor here, Broadcom, already has a commanding lead in the custom chip space. Can MediaTek catch up? It's a story of courage. Years ago, when MediaTek was struggling in the 3G race against Qualcomm, Chairman Tsai famously rewrote a classic Tang Dynasty poem to motivate his team, writing, "Our MediaTek grassroots are full of talent. I vow to lead our people to the summit again." And a few years later, they did. Now facing the immense challenge of AI, the question is whether they can pull off another historic comeback. What a story of transformation. From a macro economy firing on all cylinders to a corporate titan reinventing itself from the ground up, today's news shows that the AI revolution isn't just about technology, It's about strategy, culture, and the courage to leave a successful past behind to build an uncertain future. It makes you think. In our own work, are we playing the fast follower game, or are we pushing ourselves to create that thing that doesn't exist yet? It's a question we'll all be facing sooner or later. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Inside Taiwan. Don't forget to subscribe to the AI-powered podcast, bringing you the stories and signals shaping the world's most valuable supply chain.